Hello and welcome to day 19. Today we have got a nice long class all focused on the hips and the shoulders. So we carry a lot of tension in our hips and it is so important to every once in a while really stretch them out. So we're going to be focusing on quite a few lizard poses, but we're also going to be doing quite a bit into the shoulders as well. So hopefully this will be a nice full well-rounded class for you, doing a little bit of core in the middle as well. So you won't need anything for the class. Perhaps you might want a couple of blocks. If you want them, you can grab those now. But other than that, I will see you back on the mat. Today we're going to start lying down on our backs. And then just bringing your soles of the feet together and then letting the knees go out wide. And just relaxing down on your back. You can have your hands just gently resting on your stomach. And then just closing the eyes. If this is a little bit too much on our hips, we can let the legs go out long. But as I said before, we've got a focus on our hips today. So we're just going to let gravity gently start to open them up. Starting to notice the breath, feeling the rise and fall of your hands as you breathe. And then I want you to take a nice big breath in through the nose, filling the lungs up and then holding at the top for 3, 2, 1, and then slow exhale out all the way to the bottom. And then once you get all the way to the bottom, so there's no more breath left in, you're going to take another big breath in all the way up to the top. And then holding again, this time 4, 3, 2, 1, long exhale out through the nose. Pressing and pushing all of the breath out till you're empty. Then take another big breath in through the nose, all the way up to the top, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big exhale out, letting it all go. Last time, big breath in. Slowly filling lungs up, almost like you're blowing up a balloon. Holding at the top. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slow exhale out. Very good. Gently bringing your knees in together. And you're going to hug the right knee in, let the left leg go out long. Coming into a half happy baby. So take a hold of the outside of the foot. Let the knee draw out towards that right hand side. And the sole of the foot is parallel with the ceiling. If we can't quite take a hold of the foot, getting a nice bend into that leg, then you can just hug that knee out towards the side or hug the back of the knee. So we want to encourage the knee to draw towards that right hand side, flexing that foot. I like to find a little bit of movement here, so I like to find a bit of pulsation, almost like we're pumping the leg. So if we have a hold of the foot, then you're just gently drawing it down and then slightly releasing. Just finding a couple of pumps. Very good. And then gently we're going to release that foot and then switch the sides. Left knee in, right leg out long. Take a hold of the foot or the back of that knee and then drawing it out towards the side. Sole of the foot is parallel with the ceiling. We're aiming for this 90-degree angle in the leg. You can stay here. If you want to find a little bit of movement, we can find a bit of a pump with that foot. So we're kind of pumping the knee out towards that left hand side. Couple more. Big breath in and out. Gently release it. Let that leg go out long. Give it a little wiggle out. And then you're going to bring both knees into the chest. And we're going to start to rock up and down the spine. Forwards and backwards. Nice big rocks. And then coming all the way through into a tabletop position, plant the hands, bring the knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders, fingers spread out. Inhale here, scoop the belly down, lifting the chest, roll the shoulders back. As we exhale, we then round the back, tucking the chin, pressing through the hands. Inhale again, scoop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale as you round the spine. And again, inhale. And exhale, round the back. One more time, inhale. Exhale, rounding the back. I want you to hold here, and I really want you to press the ground away, rounding your shoulders. Imagine that someone is pressing your hand in between your shoulder blades, and you're pressing back into the hand. So you're almost like you want to push that hand away. Then trying to keep here, squeezing the belly button in. You're going to step your feet to the back of the mat, nice and strong with the legs. And we find ourselves in this really active high plank position. So every muscle in the leg is active. Squeezing the core in, pressing the ground away. Hold, hold, hold. Big breath in. Exhale, we take the hips up and back to our downward dog. You can step the feet in if you need to. Pressing through the hands, lengthening the spine, drawing the heels down. Big breath in. And exhale. Inhale, we shift forwards back to that high plank and try to keep that nice rounding in that upper back. Squeeze the core. And then take the hips up and back, downward dog. And again, inhale, come forwards. Exhale, take it back. Inhale, come forwards. Exhale, take it back. Inhale, come forwards, this time lowering through a chaturanga. You can drop the knees or keep them lifted as you lower all the way onto the belly. Untuck the toes. We're going to take our fingertips, so tensing up onto our fingertips, and take them just slightly on the outside of the mat. Elbows go out wide here. We inhale, gently press through the fingertips to lift the chest. It's like our cobra but with our arms out wide, elbows out wide. Shoulders not hunching into our ears, but rolling down. Big breath in. Exhale here, you're going to drop your right shoulder towards the midline and look over the left. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, drop the left shoulder, look over the right. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, drop the right shoulder. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, drop the left shoulder. Inhale, lifting up. We lower all the way down onto the belly. Press through the hands and the knees. Take yourself into this tabletop position. And then coming through into our puppy dog pose, we walk the hands out, melting the chest towards the mat. So we're also stretching into our shoulders. Big breath in and out. Slowly bringing the hands back underneath the shoulders, tucking the toes underneath, lifting the hips up and back to your downward dog. From here, we're going to lift the right leg up, bending the knee and opening up the hip, squeezing that foot in towards your glute and trying to stack your right hip on top of your left. Inhale here, open. As we exhale, we then square the hips, and as you do, you shift forwards and bring the knee in towards the nose and pressing through the hands around the upper back, squeeze the knee in. Inhale again, we take it back to that open hip downward dog. Big breath in. Exhale, we bring that knee in towards the nose, squeeze the core. Inhale one more time, take it up and back, open. Exhale, knee to nose. Press through the hands to round the upper back, coming nice and high onto those back toes so we find the space so we can easily, or maybe a little easier, step the foot towards the top of the mat. Dropping the back knee down, untuck the toes. Inhale, sweep the arms up, we find our low lunge. Big breath in here. Exhale, sink the hips down. And then straightening the front leg. Flex that front foot, we fall down into our half splits. Inhale. Exhale. Bending into the front leg, bring your fingertips down either side of that front foot. Tuck the back toes to lift the back knee up. And then keeping the back knee lifted, you're just going to sink the hips down nice and low and see if you can lift the chest. So we're kind of in this really long stance, runner's lunge, like we're about to set off running. So inhale here. Then as we exhale, you're going to straighten the front leg and fold into your pyramid pose. If this is really tricky for you and we have yoga blocks handy, You can place your hands on blocks, and that just really helps to find that lift as you inhale into that runner's lunge. Exhale, then straighten the front leg, fold into your pyramid pose. So wherever you are, we're just going to go back and forwards here. Inhale, bending into that front leg. Exhale, pyramid fold. One more time, inhale. Exhale, fold. Planting the hands down, we step back through a vinyasa. Find your high plank, big breath in. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Very good. Other side, lift the left leg up, big breath in. Bend the knee, open the hip. Holding here first, think about stacking that left hip on top of the right as much as we can, big breath in. Exhale, we shift forwards, bring the knee in towards the nose. Squeeze the core. Inhale, take it up and back, open hip, big breath in. Exhale, knee to nose. As we do, we round that back. Inhale, take it up and back. One more time. Exhale, knee to nose. Lift the hips as high as we can, coming up onto those back toes as much as we can, find the space, and then step that foot through. Drop the back knee down and tuck the toes, low lunge, lift the arms up, big breath in. Exhale, sink the hips down. Straighten the front leg, we find our half splits. Flex that front foot. Inhale. Exhale. And then bending into the front leg. Plant the fingertips down, or we have those blocks. Tuck the back toes to lift the back knee up. Sink the hips down as low as we can as we lift the chest. Inhale. Exhale, straighten the front leg, folding over in that pyramid pose. And again, backwards and forwards, bend into the front leg. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, take it back. And again, inhale. And exhale. Bending into the front leg, plant the hands, step back through a vinyasa. You can find cobra on the belly or upward dog. All the way back to a downward facing dog. Very good. Just start to pedal out through the feet a little bit. Like to work into the hips a bit as well. Inhale and exhale. From here, you're going to lift your right leg up. And then stepping the foot to the outside of the right hand. And keeping that right knee hugging in towards our right shoulder. Toes are pointing forwards, squeezing in, and just start to sink into the hips a little bit. You can find a bit of a bounce or rock forwards and backwards. Now from here, making sure those palms are nice and flat, fingers spread out. Like we found in our high plank and in that angry cat, I want you to start to round the upper back, pressing the ground away, squeezing in through the core, and then see if we can find that space to just float the right foot off the ground. Maybe it's just for a millisecond. Let me show you from the front. So we're holding here, and then see if you can just press the ground away and float that foot up. Whew. And then again, so we're really using our core. And then when you're ready, you're just going to step that foot all the way behind, back into a high plank position. Inhale, exhale, hips go up and back, downward dog. Pedal out through the feet, into the hips. And we're going to go through the other side. Lifting the left leg up, inhale. Step the foot to the outside of that left hand. Again, make sure the toes are pointing forwards, knee is hugging in. Just find a little bit of a rock forwards and backwards, sinking into the hips first. Inhale, exhale. And then we're going to find that little lift again. So press through the hands. Notice how I'm pressing and really lifting that upper back, lifting my hips, squeezing my core, and then see if we can start to just float that foot off the ground. And again, floating and back down. This time floating, and then step it to the back, high plank, inhale, exhale, downward dog. Pedaling out through the feet, into the hips, and then walking the feet all the way up towards the top of the mat. Feet hip distance apart, take a little hang out here. Big breath in, and out. Slowly rolling up Bring the arms up overhead, palms touch, gaze up. Exhale, hands at the chest. Very nice. From here, finding our sun salutation, sweep the arms up, big breath in. Exhale, take a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant, stepping or hopping back through a chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. And exhale, downward dog. Inhaling here. And exhale. Big breath in. Just do a little check-in. Make sure your shoulders are rolling away from the ears. And out. One more breath. Inhale, you can come up onto the toes, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees, look forwards to prepare. Step, walk, or hop the feet to the top. Inhale, flat back. Exhaling, fold. Rolling up, lift the arms, big breath in. And exhale, hands at the chest. From here, take your hands behind you, interlacing behind the back, rolling the shoulders back. Shoulders away from the ears, hands drawing down and away from the body. Big breath in here. As you exhale, we take a forward fold. Just relaxing the neck, opening up into the shoulders. Big breath in and out. Hands fall down towards the ground. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, stepping or hopping back through a vinyasa. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Again, 3 breaths. Big breath in. And out. Any point you want to find a child's pose, you can do. Just giving the shoulders or yourself a bit of a break. Go for one more breath here. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Step, walk, or hop the feet up. Inhale, flat back. Exhaling, fold. Rolling up to standing, lift the arms. Inhale. And exhale, hands at the chest. From here, we're going to take our feet out wide to the width distance of the mat. Turn your toes out slightly. And bending into the legs. Sinking the hips down nice and low. And then just trying to get as comfortable as we can here. We want to think about drawing the knees out wide, so we're really working into the hips. Take a big breath in, big breath out. Aim is to have the heels down on the ground. If we're not quite there, you can either place a blanket or a towel underneath the heels just so it has something to support on, or you can just bring yourself a little bit higher just so you can plant those feet all the way down. Take one breath in and one breath out. Bringing your hands behind you, we're going to roll all the way onto our backs. And then from here, we are going to start to round your shoulders off the ground. So we're looking at our feet, and then notice how you start to squeeze your core in and your lower back is nice and flat into the back. Into the mat. And then from here, we're going to lift one foot off the ground, squeeze the core, lift the other foot off the ground, hands reaching out in front, or if you want to make it a little bit harder, you can take them up overhead. Squeezing everything in. Big breath in. Big breath out. Try and keep your legs super active. Inhale. Exhale, this is our low dish. So this is one of our super active poses. Imagine that this is what we would be like in a handstand. Everything is super active. We hold one more breath. Exhale, relax down. And then from here, you're going to flip around so you come onto your belly. And then we're going to bring our hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, and bring yourself into a high plank position. So checking into our high plank, fingers spread out, palms flat. And then just like we've been doing, you're going to press the ground away to round the upper back, squeezing the core. Everything is active in the legs, the core, the arms, everything. Squeezing, holding, big breath in, big breath out. Try and squeeze the belly button in as well. Inhale and exhale. One more breath, inhale and exhale. Drop the knees, drop yourself down towards the mat. You're gonna roll back onto your back. Hugging the knees in towards the chest. Take a big breath in and out. So we're gonna do that one more time. So let the legs go out long, round the shoulders, reaching towards the feet. Let's go, find that low dish. Everything is squeezing in. Squeeze the legs, squeeze the ankles together, squeeze the core. Arms reaching out towards the feet. I know this is hard. Big breath in. Big breath out. And again, big breath in. Big breath out, relax down. These static poses are so good for our core strength. It's going to help us with all of our other yoga poses. Bringing ourselves into that high plank. Hands under the shoulders. And again, start to press the ground away to round the upper back. Squeeze the belly button in, making sure the legs are super active. Holding here. Which one do you find harder? High plank or that low dish? Definitely the low dish for me. This is still really tough though. Big breath in. Big breath out. And again, inhale. Exhale, dropping down to the mat. Oh, okay, roll back onto your back. Hugging the knees in towards the chest. Take a big breath in and out. And we're going to round the back and rock up and down the spine, forwards and backwards. Want to create lots of momentum here and see if we can rock all the way up to a standing forward fold without using our hands. See if we can do it. My little tip is to feel like you're snapping the heels in towards your bum as you rock forwards. That might give you that extra little bit of momentum. How did you get on? Big breath in. Big breath out. Rolling up to standing, lift the arms, inhale. Exhale, palms at the chest. From here, bring your feet together. The toes are touching and the heels just slightly apart. Sitting into our chair pose, bend into the legs, sweep the arms up, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, stepping or hopping back through a vinyasa. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. From here, we lift the right leg up, bending the knee, opening up the hip. From here, we can take a wild thing. So we shift forward slightly and then flip the dog around so the toes touch behind. Lift the hips and see if we can open the chest towards the ceiling. Big breath in. Exhale, look back down, flip it back, three-legged dog. Right leg up and back, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, lift the hips, find that space, and then step the foot through. Rise up, high lunge, inhale. Big breath in. Drop the back heel down, opening up, warrior two. Bending into that front leg, that back foot is parallel with the short edge of the mat, the edge of the foot pressing into the ground, arms out wide, gaze forwards. Flip your front palm, inhale, reverse this warrior. Big reach back, big breath in. Exhale, side angle pose. Elbow comes on top on the inside of that front knee. Left arm up and over, opening the chest. Keeping everything open towards the left hand side now. Inhaling here and out. We're then going to look down towards the mat, and then you can bring your left hand onto your left hip, and we're going to reach your right hand towards that top right hand corner of the mat. If you have a block, I'd really suggest placing your hand onto the block. Then you're going to just hop that back foot in a little bit, and then shifting forwards into that front hand and front foot so we can float the back leg behind. No worries if we don't have a block, you can just bring the fingertips down. But the key is to open the hip, open the chest towards that left hand side, and then see if we can lift the left hand up as well. Flex that floating foot, keeping it nice and open. Inhaling here. Big breath in and out. Look down towards the mat again. You're going to imagine your warrior two. So start to bend into that front leg and slowly step the foot to the back of the mat. Rise up, warrior two, inhale. Straighten the front leg. We come into our triangle pose, keeping everything open towards that left hand side. Shifting forwards, find that space, and then bring that right hand down. Left arm goes up. Try to keep the shoulder rolling back, so we're not letting the shoulder roll down or the bum stick out, but we're keeping in this one plane. Arms spread out. Can the gaze go up? Inhale. Exhale. Look down towards the ground now. You can bend into that front leg, plant the hands, step back through a vinyasa. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, other side, we lift the left leg up, bend the knee, open the hip, find our wild thing, shift forward slightly, and then letting the toes touch behind, lift the hips, open the chest towards the ceiling. Big breath in. Exhale, hand plants back down, flip it back. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, lift the hips, find the space, step the foot through. Rising up, high lunge, inhale. Strong through the legs. Exhale, drop the back heel down, warrior two. Gaze forwards, bending into that front leg. Flip your front palm, inhale, reverse. Big breath in. Exhale, side angle pose. Again, the aim is to keep everything open towards this right hand side this time. So rolling the right shoulder back, rolling the right hip back. Holding here. Coming into our half moon pose, so that leg balance, looking down towards the ground. We're going to reach for that top left hand corner this time, either onto a block or on fingertips. Walking forwards, and then see if we can float that back leg up. Try again to keep everything open towards the right. Flex that floating foot so it keeps that leg super active. Holding here, big breath in. Big breath out. Bending into the standing leg, we step it back, warrior two, nice and strong. Gaze forwards, inhale. Straighten your front leg, come through into your triangle pose, reaching forwards, and then bring that hand down. Again, just check in, make sure your bum's not sticking out, but it's tucking underneath, shoulder rolling back. Can the gaze go up towards that top hand? Inhale, and exhale. Look down towards the ground, bring the hands down, step it back through a vinyasa. Inhaling, exhaling, downward dog. From here, I want you to bring the knees down, sit back into a child's pose. Big breath in, and big breath out. And then you're going to slide the hands all the way towards the top of the mat. And as you do, the hips come up towards the ceiling, coming into a puppy dog pose, melting the chest down towards the mat. Breathing here, opening into the shoulders. And then sliding all the way through onto the belly. We're then going to take our hands behind us and interlace behind the back, coming into our locust pose. Start to lift the chest, roll the shoulders back, and then activate the legs, lifting the feet and everything off the ground, drawing up and back. Take a big breath in. Can you find that lift? Exhale to stay. Inhale again. Exhale, relax down. Bring your right cheek towards the mat, release the hands, and just rock the hips side to side. And then this time we're going to bring the feet in towards the body and see if we can take a hold of the feet with our hands. If we can't quite get a hold of the feet today, then we can bring ourselves back into that locust pose with the hands interlaced behind the back. So same as before, start to lift the chest, roll the shoulders back, and then this time we're going to kick the feet into the hands to find that lift. This is our bow pose. Make sure the knees aren't coming out wide, but they're actively squeezing in together. And then always, people forget to breathe in this pose, so take a breath in, breath out. And one more time, inhale, lift. Exhale, relax down. Bring your left cheek towards the mat. Relax the legs and just wiggle the hips side to side. Gently bring ourselves back to our downward dog. If you want to go through an upward dog first, you can do. Just making our way there. And then from here, we're going to lift the right leg up. And same as before, we're going to step the foot to the outside of the right hand. Drop the back knee down, untuck the toes. Before we had the toes pointing forwards and the knee squeezing in. So this time I want you to turn the toes out just on a 45-degree angle. And then you're going to keep that foot really flexed and then roll onto the outside edge of the foot to let the knee fall out this time. The reason why we keep the foot flexed is because if you just relax it, you just notice that you're just going to be rolling over on your ankle and we're not feeling it in our hip as much, we're just feeling it in that ankle joint. So if you keep the foot really flexed, we're just feeling it in that outer hip, so letting the knee fall out. Take a big breath in here. And we can stay or we can twist to the right and press that knee out a little bit more. You also have an option if you want to go a little deeper, you can come onto your left forearm, or if you want to go a little bit not as deep, we can bring the hand onto a block. So you have lots of different options here depending on our hip flexibility. So just holding wherever we are, take a big breath in and big breath out. Keeping that foot nice and flexed, but still an active pose. Inhale, exhale. Bringing the hands back underneath the shoulders, and then we're going to step it back to our downward dog and just wiggle out through the hips. And we'll go through the other side, lifting the left leg up. Inhale, step the foot to the outside of the left hand, drop the back knee, untuck the toes. So just like we did before, turn your toes out slightly, flex the foot, keep it nice and active, then roll onto the edge of the foot to let the knee fall out. So everything is flexed on this foot. So the foot is flexed, the toes are flexed, it's super active. So you're feeling this strength around all your tendons, so around your ankle and around your knee joint. You can stay here, you can come down onto the forearm, or you can bring your hand onto a block. And then I quite like to press the knee away, just to really open up into that left hip. Big breath in, big breath out. And again, inhale, and exhale. Gently bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Step it back to our downward dog, wiggling out through the hips. And then from here, we're going to make our way through to a seated position. So you can have a little go with hopping the legs through. It can help to cross over at the ankles and coming all the way through. So we're seated. Then we're going to lie down onto our backs. Plant your feet down just behind your hips so you can tickle the back of the heels. And then pressing through the feet, through the heels, lifting the hips up towards the ceiling. Make sure that the knees are actively squeezing in. And you can walk the shoulder blades underneath, maybe even interlacing the hands. Holding here. This time I want you to close your eyes. Try and relax the muscles in your bum, so relax the glute muscles. And then just finding the lift from either the back of the arms and the feet. Inhale. And exhale. Release the hands, coming up onto the toes and roll down the spine. Gently here, you're going to let the knees fall from side to side, releasing the back. Big breath in and out. The next time the knees pass through center, we can stop, bringing the knees into the chest. And we're going to come into our full happy baby pose now. So taking a hold of the outsides of the feet, or equally the backs of the knees. But just like we did at the beginning, you're going to think about the knees drawing out wide and the soles of the feet coming up towards the ceiling. Closing the eyes here. Take a big breath in and out. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, releasing the feet. Letting the legs go out long. We're coming into our Shavasana. If you want anything for your Shavasana to keep you warm, you can get that now. Otherwise, the arms fall down by the sides. Eyes should already be closed. And then just letting go of that focus on the breath. And let all of that work we've done just settle into the body. And we're going to stay here now just a few minutes before I bring you round. So I want you to enjoy this Shavasana. Holding here and relax. Slowly here, we'll just start to wiggle the fingers and toes. Deepening the breath. And gently finding some movement back into the body. And then when you're ready, just rolling over onto your side. Bringing the knees into the chest. And take your time coming up into a comfortable seated position. Cross-legged if that's okay with you. And then bringing the hands together. Take a big breath in and out. Namaste. Thank you everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow.